Hi, I'm Ivana at Zen Power Fitness. Today we'll be doing a lower body restorative stretching routine that I've designed to help ease and release the mid-back, low back, hips, and legs from the day. Ideally, this is something that you would be doing after a strenuous workout, but I love doing it before bed. I find it really helps me get a good night's sleep. All you'll need is access to an empty wall space, the floor nearby, and the corner or open doorway. If you'd also like a yoga mat, we will be doing some stretches on the floor, so you can bring that near you right now, and let's get started. Okay, so as you face the wall, be sure that you give yourself enough distance that as you're swinging your leg, you have clearance so that you're not risking stubbing your toe against the wall. So you want to make sure there's enough space between you and the wall. Okay, and as we transition to the other direction, again, making sure that there's clearance in front of you and behind you with the wall, but also giving yourself a little space from the wall just for comfort so you can relax the shoulder as you're swinging. And notice how I have a flat foot so that I'm not scraping my toes against the floor. Okay, excellent, just a few more. And relax. Again, we're going to face back to the wall, making sure you have that clearance, and just swinging it left to right. As high as you can up, and as high as you can across. Let the low back twist if it wants to. Make sure you're staying in a pain-free range of motion. If you're feeling it's too sticky, then I want you to not swing the leg so high. So stay where it's pain-free and comfortable. And let's just do one more. Perfect. And again, front and back, make sure you have that clearance. Toes are up towards your torso. Nice flat foot. And just get as much range of motion as you can. And one more. Excellent. And now we're going to move on to our long held stretches. Okay, we're going to face the wall again. We're going to be stretching our lower legs, so through our calves and our feet. So we're going to place the toes up against the wall. And if you can, I like to really spread my toes apart and get stretch in the webbing there as well. Heels on the floor. And soften the knees, so don't lock them. Keep them just gently bent. And ever so slightly let your body come forward until you feel a mild to moderate stretch in the calf, the lower leg area. And we're going to hold this for 1 minute on each side. Just let the feet and the lower leg open up and relax from a day in shoes and a day not being maybe so active. Get a little blood flow into the feet. And again, taking deep breaths, just connect with your body and how it's feeling today. Just let your day just fall out onto the floor. If you want a little more, you can bring your body a little bit closer to the wall, just gently leaning the torso and hips into the wall. But again, keeping it mild to moderate. One more big breath, and really slow, come back from the wall, remove that foot. If you want, wiggle the toes. We're going to switch sides. So bringing the left foot into the wall, spread those toes apart, get a nice stretch all the way through the foot. Again, soften the knees, and then just with a straight body position, just gently bring the whole body towards the wall so you feel a nice mild stretch into the foot, into the lower leg. And we're only going to hold this one for a minute. And notice how your feet are feeling. We often don't pay enough attention to them. So notice you might feel some tingling in the arches if they're really tight. They're getting a little blood flow right now. Some stretching through the plantar fascia. And gently unwinding. Pull back from the wall, wiggle your toes. The quadriceps, the muscles on the front of the thighs. Standing on the left leg, you can use your hand against the wall to give yourself some balance assist. Grab onto the right ankle. Want you to bring the heel into the glute as much as you can, and as you can see here, really focus on bringing the knees together as if you were still standing with both feet on the floor. And we're just going to hold this stretch for 2 minutes for each side. I want you to hold it in a place where it feels mild to moderate. Don't want your stretch to be too intense because we're holding it for a long period of time, so it should feel quite comfortable. And we're really just going to allow this extra time to give the muscle fibers a chance to release and open and take on this new elongated place. So just relax in your breathing, relax in your stance, and just try to connect to how you're feeling in your body. And we're just going to keep breathing. So make sure in the upper posture that you're engaging your abdominal muscles. You might feel a small pelvic tilt. Try and keep your chin parallel to the floor. And just keep breathing. As you feel your muscles start to relax, if it feels comfortable to give it just a little bit more, you can. But again, keep it in that mild to moderate stretching range. So it should still be comfortable. It shouldn't feel intense at all. It should feel nice. And really just let the front of the hip and the front of the thigh relax into this new posture and open and elongate. You know, this is much longer than you're used to holding your stretches. Most people are not holding their stretches long enough to allow the nervous system to actually adjust to the new elongated place. So this really helps increase your flexibility. And gently release that right leg, nice and slow, down to the floor, no rush here. Allow yourself to feel some of the blood flow re-enter into the lower leg. And we're going to slowly turn to the other side. So again, you can use the wall for some support on the balance. Grab that left ankle. Knees are together towards the floor best you can. If you're very tight in the quadriceps, you might find yourself splaying out to the side. Just the best that you can, just try. Try the best you can to squeeze those inner thighs together and get that knee facing down to the floor. The change will come with the effort. So just try to get your posture as straight and neutral as you can. So opening in the front of the hip, elongating the front of the thigh. Just deep, relaxed breaths, starting to let the day go, let the body unwind. Chin's parallel to the floor. Tall posture, best you can. And let's just take some deep breaths and just let the body unwind. And you might notice that this side or perhaps the other one felt tighter, and that's quite normal that one side will hold much more tension than the other. Quite often it's your dominant side. So just know that that's normal, that one side might feel tighter than the other. Just whatever position feels comfortable for this side. It doesn't have to be exactly the same position as the other, but we just want to find our neutral posture and that place where it's a mild to moderate stretch. Alright, and slowly releasing that leg down to the floor. We're going to move down into our psoas stretch, which is the front of the hips. And we're going to come into a 90-degree bent lunge on the floor. So I'm starting with my right leg in front, and my left knee, as you can see, I have a straight line down to the floor. We're going to be holding this for 2 minutes. If you need balance support, you can put your hand onto the wall and help stabilize a nice, tall, straight spine. And it might not feel like too much for you, so if you actually have the flexibility and you want to just a couple inches, move the whole body forward a little bit, you can do that and you should feel a little bit more. But we're keeping this mild to moderate again, so don't go too intense because we're holding this for an extended period of time. So the psoas muscle attaches in the front of the pelvis and it actually comes up into the front of the spine. So when it gets tight, you can actually refer into mid-back pain, low back pain. So it's really important to get this muscle opened up. As you can see here, this is the opposite of sitting in the chair all day. Here we're open, but when you're sitting, you're closing that muscle. So just take nice deep breaths. That'll help as well to relax the psoas muscle. It does attach near the diaphragm. And focus on the breath, focus on feeling the front of the hip open. Just notice how you're feeling overall in your body as we're starting to unwind from the day. And we're going to slowly come out of this stretch. So taking your time, don't move quickly, nice and slowly. Bring that right foot back, and now we're just going to bring the left foot forward. Same position, 90 degree in the front leg, 90 degree in the back leg. And again, stay tall in the spine so I'm not hinging forward. Top of the head is up to the ceiling. Best you can, try not to arch the back. Give yourself just a slight pelvic tilt. We want to feel length in the front of that right hip. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Just notice how you feel. Feel the connection to the floor in the front foot. You can feel the connection to the floor with your back foot as well. And we're not doing this too intense, but it will make a difference to hold it in an extension for this length of time. And just keep breathing. You might be feeling the front of the abdomen stretching. You might feel the front of the hip stretching. But just let it open. And great. Nice and slow, bring that left foot back out of position, and we're going to go into the next stretch, coming onto the floor. For this stretch, we're going to be moving into the hamstrings, the back of the leg. So we're going to change thumb position, get close to the corner of your wall. All right, so now we're gonna lay supine. So laying on your back at the corner of the wall, we're gonna be stretching the hamstring. We're gonna start with the right leg. So your left leg needs to be in the space where you can lay it flat out on the floor. The right leg we're gonna be bringing up to the wall. Now I need to square your hips up so that your hip is in a line with the right leg. And I just have my leg up as far as, again, there's a mild to moderate stretch in my hamstring. If you feel like you need more of a stretch because it's not too much, just scoot your body a little bit closer to the wall. And we're just going to allow the wall to hold us in this position. And just let your whole body just relax into the floor. And let the wall do the work for you. And just take deep breaths. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. This is also a wonderful anti-gravity blood flow for the leg. So if you've been sitting or standing all day, this really reverses the blood flow, helps decrease the possibility of any blood clotting that you might have from being on your feet all day as well. So this is wonderful for just helping the blood flow come back into the center of the body. You should feel a nice stretch down the full length of the back of your leg. And so we're just going to breathe. I just want you to do a quick body check. Be sure that both hips are equally placed into the floor. So be sure your right hip is not starting to pull up away from the floor, but that it is square down into the floor. If it is lifting up, then I want you to pull a little bit away from the wall to allow that hip to settle back down again so we can really focus on the hamstring stretching instead of any displacement of the low back. We want to make sure the low back is nice and supported into the floor. And coming out of this stretch, just let your heels slide down the wall because we don't want to go too quickly. Give a little hug in. And we're going to come onto the other side. Okay, now we're going to stretch your left hamstring. If you need to reposition your mat, hit pause and do so. Otherwise, we're going to roll onto our back like we did before. Scooting up to the wall with your heel up on the wall. And just bring yourself forward until you feel that nice, mild, comfortable stretch in the left hamstring. And once you get there, make sure both hips are down to the floor. Low back is feeling supported, and just let your body feel heavy. Let the wall hold your left leg for you. The knee is straight, but it's not locked. I have a slight bend in my knee. So we always want soft knee joints, never held tightly. As you can see, I have my palms facing the ceiling. This is a position from yoga, Shavasana, that I enjoy. It opens the front of the shoulders. But if you're more comfortable placing your hands on your belly and feeling your breath, you can do that as well. And just let this relax. This is a wonderful stretch for just letting the day go. You may notice the front of your right hip, perhaps. If there was some tension there, it's possible you might also feel some stretch there. That's okay. We're just letting everything release and untangle and unwind. Just let the floor and the wall support you as you are. And on our next big breath out, slowly slide the left heel down the wall, give it a little squeeze. And now we're gonna roll onto our stomach for our next stretch. Okay, now that you've rolled over onto your stomach, this actually is gonna be our next pose. It's Sphinx pose from yoga. We're gonna hold this stretch. Legs are relaxed. Your front of your pelvis is also open and relaxed into the floor. And take your forearms and actually ever so gently feel like you're sliding them against the floor, bringing the elbows towards the hips. And you'll feel that start to warm up and engage the upper back muscles, helping the shoulders pull back together, the scapula coming back together. And your chin is staying parallel to the floor. And I'm feeling my shoulders are coming up a little bit, so also pushing down, really trying to get the shoulders away from the ears. And we're just gonna hold this for a minute, so just deep breaths. Just feeling some heat in the upper back. Your heart is opening to the wall away in front of you. Getting some of those kinks out from being at a desk all day. Take one more big inhale in. And exhaling out slowly, roll onto your side. We're gonna get to the next stretch. Okay, we're going to be moving into a seated butterfly stretch. So bringing your feet in front of you, soles of the feet together, and then the knees are relaxing open. If you are really tight in the inner groin area and the adductors, your knees are likely to pop up pretty high. Just to the best of your ability, I want you to just allow them to open. So wherever it is comfortable for you to open. Sometimes bringing the feet a little farther away from you can help with that. But try to bring the heels as close in towards the groin as you can. And if you're able to reach, hands are around the feet, tall spine, and just where it's a mild to moderate stretch and the inner thighs, we're just gonna hold that for a couple minutes and really just allow the inner body to open. Just breathing. You can take a neutral gaze to the floor. Just soft eyes. Just slow, full breathing. And just let gravity naturally lower the knees to the floor. This one might actually feel a bit more intense than our other stretches because we do have a lot of attachments on the inside of our pelvis. And we really want to give this time to let them release and open. So as you're breathing, breathe all the way down into the floor, all the way through the pelvis. Allow space to enter in. You might also feel light stretch happening in the lower back or even all the way up the spine and the back of the body. That's okay. We are doing a forward bend, so that would stretch as well a little bit. But bring your mind's attention to the groin area and the inner thighs, the heaviness of the knee to the floor. You're going to come out of the stretch really slowly, so what you're going to do is just walk the hands up so you're sitting upright, and then using your hands help the knees to come back up into center. Okay, now we're going to be moving into one-legged lotus. So left leg is underneath, right leg stacks on top, and you're doing ankle to knee, ankle to knee. If for some reason this is uncomfortable for you, you're too tight to get into this position, I'm going to offer you one quick modification. The modification would be a figure 4 of crossing the right ankle over the left knee and just walking that left foot in to where you're able to do that stretch. But for the rest of us, we're gonna go into lotus. We're gonna stretch the hips. So flex the feet as well. Again, ankles over knees, tall spine, and then just hinging forward from the waist until you feel that mild to moderate stretch in the glute. Mainly you're feeling the right glute in this position, and we're gonna hold that for a couple minutes. Soft eyes to the floor, slow, relaxed belly breathing, and just let the hip muscles unwind. We hold a lot of stress, tension, and emotion in our hip area. So this is wonderful to really take the time to stretch it out well before bedtime. And as you feel things release, if you feel like your body's opening naturally and asking you to go deeper, go ahead and walk those arms a little bit more forward. But again, only till the mild to moderate range. We're not doing anything intense. Take this only to the level that your body's allowing you to go into easily. Feel both hips sinking down into the floor. This will help to open the low back, keep the pelvis even. Sometimes stretching the hips can bring up emotion. Just breathe and let whatever feelings are flowing through flow through. And slowly coming upright, we're gonna switch and put the other leg on top. So everything is slow, unwinding the legs is slow. Right leg is going underneath, and now left leg on top. So ankle to knee, flexed flat feet. Sitting nice and tall, hinging from the waist with a straight spine, and walking forward until you feel that mild to moderate stretch, and we're going to hold it on the left side. Whichever variation you're doing, feel both hips equally sinking down into the floor. Nice even pelvis. Mild stretch to the low back, but feeling that sinking and opening into the hip. Relaxing the upper body. Shoulders are heavy to the floor. Nice deep breaths all the way down into the hips. As you need to, and they're releasing, you can let your body fall forward a little bit more. Just breathe. Slowly walking the hands back up to a tall seated position. That's the end of our stretch and the end of the day. Get up slowly from the floor, have a glass of water, And just ease into the evening. Surround yourself with soft things and have a wonderful night's sleep. Until next time, thank you so much.